Do you want to learn effective ways to build relationships, generate sales, and grow your business from successful entrepreneurs, startups, and CEOs without listening to a long interview? If so, you've come to the right place. Gresham Harkless values your time and is ready to share with you precisely the information you're in search of. This is the I Am CEO podcast.
Hello. This is Gresh from the I Am CEO podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Jessica Ryder of Sage Root Nutrition. Jessica, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. Yeah, I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, me too. Super excited to have you on. And what I wanted to do was just read a little bit more about Jessica so you can hear about all the awesome things that she's doing. And she is a straightforward woman who gets stuff done and who's tired of the woo-woo diet culture. She decided in order to change her life and understand what food works for her body, she had to study it herself. With Sage Root Nutrition, she hopes to be the voice for those in the middle, not your bodybuilder diehard and not your couch potato, but the woman that just wants to understand what food works for her and enjoys indulgences here and there. We all have an endpoint, so it's time to sit up and live your life, not based on anyone else, but what works for the soul in your body. Sage Root Nutrition gives you concrete steps to build out the true woman you want to be. Jessica, are you ready to speak to the IMCO community?
I am so ready. Let's do this.
Let's do it. So to kick everything off, I wanted to hear a little bit more about what I call your CEO story, and we'll let you start your business.
Yeah. So I'm sure like most women, diet journey has been a long one for them. They've tried this, they've tried that. It's been a roller coaster, everything else. And I'm no different. I did the same roller coaster. But I got to the point where I was done with it. I'm like, look, the only way that I'm going to get off this whole thing is if I figure out what food's going to actually work for my body. So at that point, I was working from home. I was working in a job that allowed me to work from home. And I said, guess what? I'm going to start studying nutrition. And I actually went into one of the local supplement stores, figured out what how those guys were licensed or, certified or whatever, looked it up and did it myself. And then after I'm like halfway through this and people are asking me, they're like, what are you doing? How are you doing this? And I'm like, well, this is what I'm doing. And I'm like, I know that I can give people the resources that they need to do this on their own. And that's the whole point is you're not going to be in this one size fits all. I don't fit into that category. I don't fit into that category because I have this that goes on in my system, So what can I do? And then how can I help people get to the point where it's you figure out you, and then here's some tools that you can do to stay on that path.
That makes perfect sense.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be you do this because it's a popular thing. You do that because it works for you. Right. And you've tested it and you know how your body works. And, my clients come out and they're like, I never realized how much this certain food like dairy or gluten or something affected me until I didn't have it. And then I realize now, if I want that certain food, what my limitations are, when I should stop eating. And so I don't overeat. So that's really where I started with it. And that's where I wanted to take it.
Nice. Well, I definitely appreciate that. And I heard somewhere, and I can't remember exactly where, but I always, have heard, and I usually always say is that sometimes you are your best doctor, in the sense that I think a lot of times for your health, we would always look to doctors or look to, certain magazines or celebrity, whatever that might be, to be the answer. But in reality, sometimes we have to use that advice, that information as tools, but we have to really listen and pay attention to what our body's doing or not doing, or it's hard to really understand if that would work. That might work for that person, but it may not necessarily work for you.
And what's sad is some research that I've read is that this is changing now, but in the past, doctors were not required to take a nutrition class. It was an elective offered, and only, a handful of doctors actually took a nutrition class. So here they are, they're super knowledgeable on, gynecology, or they're super knowledgeable on, emergency medicine, right. But they're not knowledgeable on the food. And how food, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was eye-opening, and you're absolutely right. Go to the doctor, get blood work, understand, but then take that information into your own hands and find the right resource and path for you. I mean, the information is unlimited now.
Right. Yeah, it's all at our fingertips.
It's all at our fingertips.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to drill a little bit deeper and hear exactly what you're doing with Sage Root Nutrition. Could you tell us, like, how you work with clients and how that process goes?
Yeah. So I work with clients in two different capacities. I have a group program and I have a one-on-one program. And in a one-on-one program, these are the people that are, they're just they may be completely lost. And they're just, I don't know where to start. And I don't work well in group settings. I need that one-on-one. And that is, we're drilling deep. We're talking weekly. You're getting a weekly meal plan from me. We are hitting your goals. And then in the group program, it's very similar, only it's not as much hand holding. So what I found for myself is that, I am a self-starter by nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be perfectly fine in a group program where I've got some accountability partners. I got the leader checking in with us every once in a while, but I can do this on my own. If you just give me, how do I set up my meal plan? What meals for what I'm trying to do should I be eating? Where should I be targeting? I can do this on my own. As opposed to the one-on-one who they're like, I can't do it all on my own at all. I need you telling me at 7 a.m. you are eating this, right? So those are the two different clients that I serve. But regardless of that, everyone goes through a 4 to 6 week testing period. So where we are drilling down, what foods does your body actually want and use appropriately? And we start with those little habits as well. First and foremost, we start with drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
Because a majority of the people are like, oh yeah, I drink water. I'm like, okay, well, how many of these do you get in a day?
Right.
How many 32-ounce jugs do you get in a day? Oh, I drink about 2. Okay. So you're getting 64 ounces in, but is that enough for your body?
Right.
Probably not, So it's building those little habits in 4 to 6 week periods so that when we jump off into focused goals, whether again, one-on-one or group, you're ready to go and you've already got about 6 weeks worth of habits built in there.
Yeah, that's definitely huge. And I love that way that you have it broken off into those two, I guess, avenues, because like you said, you have people that are the self-starters that, are able to just be in a group and may even get energy from people that are in the group as well too. Somebody's hitting their goal. Now you want to hit your goal and so on and so forth. That's just a great energy that's happening. And then others might want a little bit more, one-on-one and want somebody, one person, I should say, to just kind of make sure they're doing everything. And they might, have more of an intimate kind of conversation in that setting. So I appreciate you having both those opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I wanted to ask you for what I call your secret sauce, and it could be for you or it could be for your organization, but what you feel kind of sets you apart and makes you unique.
I think for me, what absolutely sets me apart in my mission and anything that I do in my life, honestly, is to be the voice for everybody in the middle. I think so many times, and middle in a lot of sense, middle as in middle America. I live and grew up in St. Louis. We are middle America. I'm not running the beach every day. I'm not, in New York running those streets every day. I'm in St. Louis. I'm walking my streets here in my community. And at the same time, the voice for those people in the middle that, look, I can't afford to hire the personal trainer, the dietitian. I don't know that I need that, but I need more than just, hey, I'm going to pick up this book and try to figure it out myself. I'm in the middle, right? I need a little bit more help. I need a little bit more accountability, but I also don't need somebody like breathing down my neck.
Right.
Like or I don't want to go to a dietitian or something like that. I just need somebody with the practical day-to-day what I can do. and that really stems from what I needed. I felt like I could read all these books. I could go on the internet and search all this stuff. How do I apply it?
Right.
What do I do? And then hiring somebody super big, and there's a guy here in St. Louis. I mean, he's expensive. He's super expensive. And people have success more times than not. They revert back to their old ways because they haven't changed their mindset.
Right.
But he's super expensive, and I knew I couldn't afford that. So I got to find something in the middle. And so I think that's what makes me unique, is I'm speaking to those people in the middle. The mom that's running her kid to practice 3 nights a week, and all she wants to do is stop going through McDonald's.
Right.
Awesome. Let's talk about ways you can do that. And I think the other thing too is I will work more with mind than the actual food. I was just talking to a client this morning, and she's doing a very, very noble thing in that she's helping a friend who's battling cancer. So she is taking this friend to her treatments once a week. And she's like, man, when I come home, I may have my food prepped. She goes, but it's not prepped to the point that it's like just microwave 10 minutes or, 2 minutes and be done. She goes, but I'm so mentally exhausted from taking my friend to her chemo treatment, and I'm emotionally exhausted. So that weighs so heavy into whatever her decision is when she gets home to eat.
Right.
And she's been eating bad,
Yeah.
And she's like, I go, you need to stop and take a step back and realize that you are going to be emotionally spent when you come home. So how can you prepare for that?
Yeah.
It's dealing with that mind, those mind tricks, and getting out of those. That's a lot of what I work with as well. And I tell a lot of clients, give yourself grace. This is a process. You are not going to lose weight overnight. Sure, maybe a pound or 2, but you did not put it on overnight. You're not going to lose it overnight.
Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I appreciate you, because I was actually going to ask you to drill down a little bit deeper on that mindset aspect. And I think that's a huge thing, because I think sometimes we will beat ourselves up, whether it be for weight or for what we're eating or, goals, whatever it might be, when we don't do exactly like a computer says we should do, that we're not robotic, and that we have off days, or that we're spent that day, or maybe we sat in traffic the entire day. So when we get home, we don't want to eat the best thing. But I think what you spoke to was actually understanding that is a reality of what happens. So you understand that, so it allows you to arm yourself against that a little bit better. So you understand that if you have a long day, maybe you're going to be more likely to want to, go to McDonald's or go to whatever, fast food restaurant. But if you're aware of that, that allows you to kind of counteract that, it sounds like. I wanted to switch gears a little bit, and I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO hack. And this might be an app, a book, or a habit that you have, but it's something that makes you more effective and efficient.
My morning routine never wavers. Doesn't matter if I get up at 4:45, my regular time, or if I get up at 8 p.m. or not 8 p.m., 8 a.m. on a Friday or something, or on the weekend, my morning routine is the same.
Exactly. So now I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO nugget, and this might be a word of wisdom or a piece of advice, or if you can hop into a time machine, what would you tell your younger business self?
CEO, I have a hard time thinking of myself in that term, because I'm just block out the noise that you don't want to listen to, or that isn't serving you.
That makes perfect sense, and I feel like it's kind of in accordance with exactly what you said before, with how you work with clients, where you're not listening to all these different things. You're listening to yourself and then where you want to be, and rather than deviate from that and listen to the person that says do this or the person that says do that, or this the person that may not have been exactly where you want to go, you're actually staying in alignment with exactly what it is you're trying to do. And I know you touched on this a little bit, but I wanted to ask you my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And we're hoping to have different quote unquote CEOs on this show. So Jessica, what does being a CEO mean to you?
Responsibility. It means I have a dream big enough that I want to do with my life, that I get to bring others into it and hopefully have them be on board with my dream. and get to touch and give resources to a lot more people because I am the CEO, I'm the boss, whatever. I'm not going to lie. It also means freedom. It also means being my own boss. It also means doing things my own way.
I definitely appreciate that definition and that perspective. And I definitely appreciate your time even more, Jessica. What I wanted to do was pass you the mic, so to speak, just to see if there's anything additional you can let the readers and listeners know. And then, of course, how best they can find out about all the awesome things you're working on.
I think the biggest thing is give yourself grace. Whether you're the CEO, whether you're someone trying to lose weight, whether you're someone, that just wants to eat better, give yourself grace. They can definitely find me on Facebook, Sage Root Nutrition with Jessica Ryder. Also, my website, which is sagerootnutrition.com. And I am on Instagram as JNR Ryder. I'll be LinkedIn. If anybody's out there and wants to hook up on LinkedIn, it's Jessica Ryder on LinkedIn. I don't use Twitter all that much.
Okay.
I'm there, but yeah. I don't use it all that much.
I thank you for reminding us of that. And I overall thank you again for your time. I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the I Am CEO podcast powered by Blue 16 Media. Tune in next time and visit us at IAM373.co. I Am CEO is not just a phrase, it's a community. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating. Grab CEO gear at www.ceogear.co. This has been the I Am CEO podcast with Gresham Harkless. Thank you for listening.